Alright, so I'm back with the third prediction video of this weekend because the Premier League is coming back this weekend. I believe this Friday. I'm recording this on a Thursday, but this Friday the Premier League comes back. And yeah, so I thought why not do my Premier League predictions just the day before. And also, it is my fourth league prediction, hopefully. If I'm able to edit all the videos properly and get them out on time, it will be my fourth league predictions. But anyways, let's get into my Premier League predictions for the 21-22 season. So in 20th at the very bottom of this Premier League table, I think it'll be Watford. They're a newly promoted side, and although they have a fantastic squad, well, not a fantastic squad, but a good squad with a few young talents like Ismail Yassar, I still think Watford will finish in bottom, at the very bottom in 20th, going back down to the championship. I don't see them doing very well, obviously, because I put them in 20th, but yeah, I don't see them just accomplishing anything and definitely not surviving relegation. So yeah, 20th, back down to the championship. Sorry, Watford. In 19th, I have Burnley. They finished in 17th last season in the Premier League, and now I am predicting them to go down into the championship. They haven't been relegated in a long time, and Sean Dyche has been a wonderful manager that has helped them stay up, but I feel like it is time for them to actually go down. It was a very tough challenge for me to decide who should go in 19th, and ultimately I decided that Burnley would go in 19th. So yeah, sorry Sean Dyche and sorry the Burnley boys, but going back down to the championship. In 18th, another bold prediction, I'm going with Southampton to go into the relegation spots. I think it'll be very close. I think they'll just go down. And the main reason why I think Southampton will go down is the fact that they sold Danny Ings. The selling of that player is just, it's incredible. It's astonishing, and I don't see where Southampton could actually produce most of their goals. I know they have Che Adams, and I believe they brought in another player for like 15 million, but I don't see him doing as well as Danny Ings. So yeah, Southampton going down into the championship. I think it'll be very close. There will be many teams that I wanted to put in this, but there will be a few teams that will be very close to going down. But I think Southampton will be the ultimate team that will go down. One of those teams that I think would be very close to getting relegated is Crystal Palace. One of the main reasons why I think they would be close to getting relegated or will get relegated is the fact that they have a new manager and a few of their key players are injured at the moment. Looking at the team, I think they have a solid squad, but the fact that their manager isn't really Premier League proven and he hasn't done well in his previous jobs, Patrick Vieira that is, I don't think Crystal Palace will do that well. They finished in 14th, and I'm predicting them to go 17th, and I could definitely see them getting relegated, but for now I'm putting them in 17th, and we'll see how they get on. In 16th, I have Brentford, another newly promoted side. Brentford don't have the best squads, honestly championship standard, but I just think with the likes of the other Premier League squads that I've talked about earlier, I think Brentford will do just slightly better than them, still be in a relegation fight, but they will survive with a few points ahead of Crystal Palace. That's my prediction, but I could definitely see them getting relegated and even finishing bottom. But it is very tough to call, so I will go with Brentford. In 15th, I have the final newly promoted side. I have Norwich. The main reason why I have Norwich in 15th is because they have bought a lot of good players and some pretty decent youngsters as well. They brought in Josh Sargent, Milo Rashica, I think that's how you pronounce it, and also Billy Gilmore. I believe Billy Gilmore is on a loan, but either way, that's still fantastic. I know they sold Emi Buendia, but the signing of Milo Rashica kind of makes up for that, and Josh Sargent up front, maybe with Timo Pukki or replacing Timo Pukki, could be really good. So those signings I feel like could help them out, with also keeping Todd Cantwell is also a fantastic thing for them. So I think they could survive relegation. I think it'll be very close, but I think it'll be a comfortable 15th position. Comfortable 15th finish for Norwich. In 14th, I have Brighton. Brighton, I I had them finishing in 16th, I believe, or 15th last season, and I'm putting them above that because I just see them doing a little better than they did last season. And it's just, I feel like Brighton could do with the striker, but I still see them doing better than the previous teams that I talked about. I could see them getting relegated. I had them in relegation spots earlier, but I put them in 14th because I just feel like the other teams don't have the quality that Brighton have. And also, their style of play is a little better than the rest of the teams. Lower than them, so yeah. In 13th, I have Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle, as I said before, Newcastle is a team that I love, but I don't see them doing too well this season. I see them struggling a little bit. They did pretty decent last season, but with the other teams in the league, I just feel like they're one of the weaker sides. And I believe they brought in Joe Willock on like a permanent deal this time. And it's a massive loss for Arsenal, but Newcastle United, I don't know. I don't see them doing too well, so that's why I'm sticking them in 13th. They could finish a little higher, maybe finish a little lower, but I think 13th is a good spot for them. Roundabout. So swapping places with Newcastle, I have Wolves. Wolves finished in 13th last season, Newcastle finished in 12th. So this time I just flipped them because I feel like Wolves will have just a little bit better of a season because I believe their main striker will be back, Raul Jimenez. The Mexican, of course, I like to follow him. But anyways, Wolves, I feel like with their new striker could do a little better. And I think that they've needed a potent goal scorer like Raul Jimenez. That's what they really missed last season. And I feel like now that they have him back, they'll do a little bit better. But the quality of the other teams is just a little too strong. So that's why I'm going to stick with Wolves in 12th. So last season, I overestimated Everton with the new signings. But this time I might have underestimated them, but I'm putting them in 11th this time because Everton, as strong a side as they are, I don't see them doing too well. Again, this time they have a new manager, Rafa Benitez. He's a fantastic manager who's won a lot of things in his managerial career with big teams. Now he's at a medium team, like a smaller team than world class. And the squad that he's got, it's not a bad squad, not at all. But I still see them struggling for this season at least. Maybe next season they'll do a little bit better, but I'm thinking 11th for Everton. Another bold prediction in 10th, I have West Ham. They finished in 6th last season, which means they'll get Europa League this season. And I feel like they'll struggle with that. They'll have a hard time with dealing with Europa League and the Premier League and the other competitions that they might be in. So I feel like they'll have a little hard time, so they'll struggle and drop down a little bit. They could drop even further, but I think 10th will be a respectable finish for David Moyes and his squad because they deserve to be at a pretty good level like that. They will not have Jesse Lingard, I believe, because I think he's going to go back to Man United, or he's already back at Man United. So it kind of sucks for them. One of their main stars of last season will not be there, but I still think West Ham will do a pretty good job and finish in 10th. Continuing with the bold predictions, in 9th, I have Arsenal. Arsenal finished in 8th last season, and I'm dropping them another position. I know they don't have Europa League. They don't have any other competitions apart from the normal ones that every English club is to partake in. But I still think Arsenal, although they have a fantastic squad, Mikel Arteta is just not the manager that will help them progress into Europa League again and to the Champions League. I just don't see them finishing that high. I think the highest they'll finish is 7th, the lowest they can finish is probably 12th. But I think they'll finish in 9th because it's Arsenal. They still have a fantastic squad, and if Aubameyang and Lacazette can just show up this term, then they can definitely shut me up and probably finish it amongst the Europa League. But I don't see that happening, so that's why I'm keeping them in 9th place. Although they are a team to look out for because they have fantastic youngsters. In 8th, I have Leeds United. Leeds United, I honestly want to put them a little higher, but I feel like even 8th is a little bit of a stretch. But I don't think they'll have second season syndrome, mostly because they have a fantastic manager in Marcelo Bielsa, and their squad is very stacked. It's not like they're world class players, but their players are still pretty good and very fantastic. Like many other bigger teams want to poach Leeds, but I mean, most of their players are staying, so it's pretty good. And then they also brought in the signing of Junior Firpo, who used to play for Barcelona, obviously. Didn't do that well at Barcelona, but hopefully under the tutelage of Marcelo Bielsa and in this more fluid side, I feel like he could progress well and flourish in this Leeds United squad. But hopefully they prove me right and finish in 8th, and I'll be happy if they finish any higher. So 8th for Leeds United. A second consecutive 7th place position finish for Tottenham is what I expect. They finished in 7th last season, and I feel like they'll finish in 7th yet again, mostly due to the work ethic of the other teams above them that I've put there, and also the fact that they've lost a few key players. Tottenham is most likely going to lose Harry Kane, and without a really good successor, which was hopefully going to be Danny Ings, but he's off to Aston Villa. So I think that Tottenham will struggle a lot. If they do lose Harry Kane, I think they could fall even further. But 7th place, I think, is still a respectable finish for him and Nuno Espirito Santo, who is their new manager, because there have been quite a few new managers for this new Premier League season. But either way, I still think that Tottenham can do fairly well, but just not up to their level that they should be at. Should be in at least Europa League, but I don't see that happening. So another 7th place finish for Tottenham Hotspur. Now in 6th, I have one of, if not the most controversial pick of this whole bunch. I have Aston Villa finishing in 6th place. I don't know really why I'm doing this. I'm trying to be bold. I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to just do my own thing and put outrageous things or incredible things that you wouldn't really expect. But either way, Aston Villa, and I'll explain myself why I put them in 6th. Aston Villa, although they sold Jack Grealish, they brought in a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure they brought in Leon Bailey, Danny Ings, Emi Buendia, and possibly another signing, and it's just, that's still a fantastic squad. Not to forget also the fact that they still had a fantastic squad last season. I know I was with Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish kind of carried them a little bit. I still think they have a fantastic squad. Also, don't forget about Emiliano Martinez, who just came off of a Copa America victory, and he's still their starting goalkeeper. And he was a fantastic goalkeeper last season. Now imagine this season, I think they'll do really well. So Europa League finish for Aston Villa is my prediction for this one. Another controversial finish for this predictions, I have Liverpool finishing in 5th place. I know a lot of people, no, Liverpool's could be up there for the league for title contention. Honestly, I don't see it. For me, Liverpool's between 5th or 4th. And I tossed and turned. It was honestly the flip of a coin. I kept flipping the two, but I landed with Liverpool in 5th. Liverpool have a fantastic squad. Honestly, world class. Their manager is absolutely amazing. But I want to be bold, and I'm putting Liverpool in 5th. Although Jurgen Klopp is an amazing manager, and hopefully they won't have as many injuries as they had last season. And even though they finished in 3rd with all the injuries that they had, I still think they haven't brought in many reinforcements. Mo Salah's getting older, Sadio Mane's getting older, Roberto Firmino's getting older. I know they have Diogo Jota, who could be a fantastic player. We didn't see much of him because of his injury last season. And also their center backs will finally be fully fit, like Van Dijk and Joe Gomez, and they'll finally see the midfielders who were playing at center back playing in center mid. So hopefully we'll see a better Liverpool, and I think we will see a better Liverpool, but I think the other 4 teams that are left on this list just will play a little bit better, and I think it'll be very close between 4th and 5th. I think either goal difference or by like 2 points or 1 point will separate them, but Liverpool in 5th. In 4th is probably my most controversial pick. Again, if not, it was Aston Villa, but I'm putting Leicester City in 4th place. I'm putting them in Champions League because they deserve it. Brendan Rodgers and his team absolutely deserve it. And the main thing that really convinced me that they should go into 4th, although they have the injuries to Wesley Fofana, James Justin, and Timothy Castagne, I believe James Justin will come back soon. The main reason that actually brought me to this conclusion is the new signing of Yannick Vestergaard. And that's also another reason why Southampton will go down. But anyways, Leicester City, that signing of Yannick Vestergaard after the the major loss of Wesley Fofana, who will be most likely out for the rest of the season, if not the whole seaon, then it looks like Yannick Vestergaard could be a fantastic signing for them, and they still brought in some other fantastic signings like Patson Daka and I believe Sumare. I can't pronounce his first name, and I'm not sure if I pronounced his last name correctly, but either way, they brought in some fantastic talents, some great players, and I think this will finally be the chance for Brendan Rodgers and his team to push on into Champions League like they deserve, because they finished in 5th place for the past 2 seasons, and they were so close for the past 2 seasons, but either way, we're putting them in 4th place because they deserve it. So Leicester City in 4th place, first Champions League spot into the top 4. Top 3 now, and it's so very tough. It's very tough. It's very tough. I flip-flopped through all 3 of them, all 3 of the combinations. But in 3rd, I finally put Manchester United. Manchester United definitely have a fantastic squad, and I would put them up there for title contention, and they are. I feel like they'll be very close to the league leaders. But although I love their signings of Rafa Varane and Jadon Sancho, I love Jadon Sancho very much. He's one of my favorite players, and I think he'll do really well. I think he'll succeed at Manchester United. I still think, just as many other people say, they're a world-class striker away from title contention. People also say, like, they also need a midfielder. I think their midfield is very solid, especially if they keep Paul Pogba, which I think they will. And so, yeah, I think Manchester United will push on for the title, but ultimately fall off and drop off into 3rd place. Sorry, Manchester United. In 2nd place, we have Chelsea. I know a lot of people would put them in 1st place, but it's just Chelsea have a fantastic squad, especially if they bring in Romelu Lukaku, which is rumored to be almost done, if not already done, by the time I'm recording this. But if they bring him in and he plays for most of the season, if not all of the season, then he's gonna get 20 to 30, almost 40 goals. Whether in the Premier League or just overall. In the Premier League, he can easily get 20 goals. And I just think with all the talent that they have in midfield and attack, it's just going to be phenomenal. And their defense is probably their weakest point, but it's still not a weak defense. Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Christensen, and Zuma? No, I'm forgetting his last name. Rudiger, Antonio Rudiger. I think that's still a fantastic squad. Their goalkeepers could be better, but Mendy has proven yet again that he is a fantastic goalkeeper, even though he was only, I think he's 29 years old, so he's at his peak almost, but still he's playing fantastically. And their backup, Kepa, has actually proven himself in the Super Cup yesterday that he saved 2 penalties, I believe, to help them win the Super Cup, so fantastic on Chelsea. Either way, I still think Chelsea can definitely do have a really good season and finish in 2nd, just behind the league leaders, which is... So the league leaders, of course, there's no other team left. It's Manchester City. I have Manchester City winning the Premier League yet again, back-to-back, again, with Pep Guardiola, because I just... if you look at their team, just look at Manchester City's team. It's almost unbeatable. In Europe right now, I think the only team that can beat Manchester City, like on paper, is PSG. But still, Man City has a fantastic team. Ederson, Grealish, Sancho, Sterling is what I meant to say. Oh my gosh, I'm still thinking of Manchester United. Anyways, if they bring in Harry Kane, I think the league is just wrapped up for them, honestly. And if they don't win the league with Harry Kane, and if they sign Harry Kane and they don't win the league, that's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment. If they finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I don't care. If they bring in Harry Kane and they don't win the league, that's an absolute embarrassment. And Pep Guardiola should just not give up on Man City, but just no, you have to win the league. And you have to push on for Champions League with Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane is a world-class striker. That's honestly the only missing piece in this Manchester City squad. But even without a world-class striker, they still have many potent goal scorers from midfield, from wing position. It's just... Man City just need a world-class striker, and they will be arguably the best team in the world. And they could be. But either way, even if they don't bring in Harry Kane, I still think they have the potential to win the league. It's just how it is. Although I think Chelsea will push them pretty far, also Man United, and maybe Leicester and Liverpool, but I think Man City will ultimately win the league by just a few points. So yeah, Manchester City to win the Premier League title yet again. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. Let's